everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Divinity Original Sin 2. So, in the last episode, I said that I died doing this. I tried it like 2 or 3 more times. 2 more times. 2 more times? Yeah, 2 more times after that. I died pretty horribly each time. I did have the opportunity to run away, so I potentially could have avoided the fight, but I want to actually win that fight. So I think what I'm going to do is actually come back later when I'm higher level, because it is a level 20 fight, which is worth noting. So I'm going to come back later when I'm actually like closer to that level, so I can actually take it on without resorting to running away from the fight. Also, apparently there's a path down here to a dead void working. I don't know the benefit of going down to this dead void working, but apparently I can, so I'm going to. Apparently literally no point. Also, they stole all my souls. Also, I'm out of resurrection scrolls, pretty much. I have 1 for each character. Oh. Ancient Spear of Bloodletting.
Good find.
I guess that was a reason to come down here. It's worth a fair amount of gold. Okay. So, as you can see here, Ashen Idol of Rebirth. I need to remake them into good Idols of Rebirth. I have 1 resurrection scroll each. So, you know, that's a thing. Alright, let's make the first one done. And the second one done. And then I'm going to have to go find and see if I can buy a Scroll of Resurrection off somebody. Presumably there's going to be one in town somewhere. First things first though, let's go to Losa. She has green, right? Yep. Let's eat this guy's sauce, because he's an assassin, fuck him.
The spirit waits. The lizard spirit's face is still, and his voice silent, in spite of his torment. As his sauce slithers into you, you are reminded again of
Sahada, he was trying to kill. Okay. I'm actually going to walk my way out of here, because there should be corpses through here that I can actually absorb. Like this void working, for instance. But I'm actually going to cut, and I'm going to be back probably in the main square buying some shit. That's my plan anyway. But you guys don't have to see me walk through finding corpses to absorb. Alrighty then, and we're back. So, I bought myself some resurrection scrolls. This guy was selling 13, I bought them all. Cost me next to nothing, I actually made money in the transaction. Which is ridiculous. But, now to decide what to do. So, I've decided, that this is too hard for me, so we're going to do it later. I should put a pin in here, actually.
It got damaged in the fight. It'll fix up just fine.
You're confident. I'll give you that.
There we go. So let's go to Micheil Ross's place. I think we're going to do that for this episode. Hello, Royal Protector.
the dwarf's armor looks as if it weighs half a ton, yet he moves with alarming ease. You note his insignia, a snarling wolf.
Rouse the shop as you please.
Tell me you're here for the wedding. You have an invitation.
Wedding? You're so late it's almost time for the funerals. Talk to the guard inside if you want to leave a gift or a message of condolence.
What happened?
Let's just say we had a monstrous day on the job.
Noted his insignia. What does it represent?
The dwarf stands straight and tall, or at least as tall as a dwarf can manage.
I'm a member of Her Majesty Queen Justinia's Royal Regiment. Special Officer, rank 1, sir.
Right. So I'm not going to tell you that Lohar sent me. Ask what members of the Royal Guard are doing so far from the kingdom.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, sir.
Through his visor, you can only see his eyes, but there's something in them that belies the steely exterior.
Put on your friendliest voice. Whatever it is, ask straight out. Is the Queen in Arx?
The guard's breath catches. He squeezes his eyes shut, blinking away the pain. When he speaks, it's in a low whisper.
Please, stop talking, please. This is the wedding day of the daughter of the merchant Ross. Her Royal Highness Justinia, the breath and balm of Duna, detailed us to protect the guests.
He winces, the pain evident.
We failed.
Note that this seems quite the security contingent for a simple wedding.
Wasn't enough, as it turns out. Void-woken attack. I'm told the Queen is safe, though whether she stood inside, I can't say. So many dead. At least the bride and groom survived.
Put on a grim demeanor. You're sorry for the loss of... sorry, hear about the people dying.
You and me both, mate. You and me both. You know what the funniest part is? The shop is still open. You believe that? The shop's still open. Go on, do your shopping.
It's pretty ridiculous that Micheil Ross keeps his store open.
If that ain't a bad omen, nothing is.
Hello.
Hold it right there. Private wedding party. No entry.
Tell you here for the wedding.
Are you? Well, I've got bad news for you then. There's been a tragedy. You better be on your way. We've had enough trouble for one day.
Show her the invitation you took from the drunk woman in the street.
She looks you up and down.
Yeah, so that lady, we kicked her out. And while you might think the key phrase in that sentence is kicked her out, it's actually that lady. We might have saved that lady's life as it happens. Do yourself the same favour. Get away from the door!
Tell her you know what's going on in the sewers. You need to talk to her boss now.
She gives you a steady, defiant stare.
I don't know anything about the sewers, and I don't think you do either.
Promise her that she and her boss need your friendship, not your enmity.
She narrows her eyes, suspicious.
Loha sent you, did he? You're late, but I guess that's a good thing. I'll unlock the door for you.
Interesting. So he's working for... Oh, hello, Trader Glass. She's actually working for Loha, interestingly. She's a
I
spy.
didn't see you there. Sorry, it's been, quite a day. You need a hand with anything, let me know.
So you're surprised the store wasn't closed for the wedding.
You and me both. Worked for Ross for a decade. I'd half expected an invitation of my own. But even with half of Arks lying dead in his garden, he still wants the shop open. Then again,
Capitalist, I suppose.
if I'd been at the wedding... The fact that the boss loves counting his pennies is probably the only reason I'm breathing. That said, it doesn't feel right to be hawking wares with that next door. Job's the job, though. Can hardly leave Arks with naught but empty pockets.
Tell him you suspect he's keeping the good stuff from you. Why?
I don't know what you're talking about. Everything we have is on the shelves.
Huh. Tell him you're very trustworthy. You need not worry.
Oh, all right. You can have a look. I'm not planning on sticking around. So what difference does it make?
Ask me if he knows about the Void-woken attack.
Don't know much. Everyone was out in the garden for the wedding. I was watching the shop and then... Guards were everywhere, but those beasties just cut through them. Like butter. Boss said to keep the doors open, but... But truth be told, I feel ill just standing here. By Duna, closing can't come fast enough.
Ask him about his wares.
You'll find we have some interesting specials today.
Cool. Let's see if there's anything in here I particularly want. Probably not, because I think everything here is probably level 18, so it's probably not amazing. Scoundrel Hydro Summoning isn't bad. Warfare Pyro Necro Summoning. Huntsman Arrow Health. Huntsman Arrow Health. Interesting.
I'll be drawing breath now if I was in the garden.
Nothing of particular interest, in all honesty. Nothing amazing.
Ooh, not bad, eh? Take care of yourself.
Alright, cool.
I had to guard a wedding. Nobody said anything about fighting monsters.
Hello, Squire.
Voidwoken, here! And who'll clean up that mess in the garden? It'll be me, the new guy.
To be a squire in such a state, yeah, it's not the greatest. Auntie Flan, hello.
The woman cries on.
Let's do this, shall we?
I am so sorry. How could I have known?
She looks up at you with glassy eyes, wiping her tear-streaked face on one brocade sleeve.
A girl's wedding should be the happiest day of her life.
Proffer your sympathies. You've heard of the recent tragedy.
I don't know how this could happen. Who would have seen it coming?
She looks down at her feet. Seeing her blood-spattered wedding slippers, her face crumples and tears spring from her eyes.
I should be so happy. Everybody should be so happy. But before we could even cut our wedding cake, there were Voidwoken everywhere. We barely made it indoors alive. But not everyone was so lucky. I can hardly bear to think of them. Their wives and husbands and children back in the kingdom, left to grieve alone.
Raise your eyebrows and note that Voidwoken only appear where source is used.
What are you insinuating? We're merchants, not mystics. You should have seen those void monsters. All that blood, all that death. They didn't deserve... We didn't.
She buries her head in her hands, sobbing uncontrollably.
Wince and hesitantly offer your congratulations on her marriage.
I can't accept them. I know you mean well, but how can I celebrate now? Voidwoken on my wedding day. At least my loving husband is still with me.
She turns and waves one timid hand to her husband on the balcony. He offers an apathetic grunt in return. She blinks back tears from her pink-tinged eyes.
Please forgive him. He's broken up. It's a lot to take in. We lost so much in the blink of an eye.
Say you'll pray for her health. Given the shade of her eye, she looks rather ill.
I have been feeling peaky lately. My darling said it was the rosy glow of a woman in love. But now, I think it was a warning. A sign of the massacre to come.
Ask why her and her husband aren't taking comfort in each other's arms.
My poor love. He needs a moment to himself. And who wouldn't? Today should have been so different.
She takes a shuddering breath and idly itches her face. You'd expect her cheeks to be ruddy from tears, but they are pale instead, almost translucent, revealing the vessels snaking underneath.
Another squire, hello.
My lord, I beg your pardon, but the feast has been cut short due to active gods.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey,
The
Dorian.
dwarf stares grimly into space. Rings adorn his fingers, some of which glitter with ornate rose-tinted jewels. You notice one has a gem missing.
Terror grenade. Interesting. Large poison resistance. Interesting.
If you'll excuse me, I'd just as soon be left with my thoughts.
Congratulate him on his marriage despite the tragic circumstances.
Yes, it's been a horrendous day. Still, it's a fine match. With her assets and my name, that is to say, we will be a force to be reckoned with.
He seems to be the loving husband, doesn't
He
he?
glances over at his distraught bride as she takes another sip from her goblet.
Events like today's do have a way of putting things in perspective. There's much to be gained from this alliance. It survived the Voidwoken after all. Out with the old, in with the new, I suppose. Yet... Old Man Ross left the incident quite unharmed.
Moment that one could gain even more with a father-in-law holding the majority of the family fortune. Huh. Observe he doesn't seem all that madly in love.
Love? Duna's beard. Is that what passes for sense among the lower classes? She is quite enamored with me, of course. I can be, well, irresistible.
Man has, like, the evil mustache.
In my family, marriage is a more practical matter. Our union means I can continue my work.
How enterprising. You appreciate a man who's willing to make sacrifices to get ahead in life.
I appreciate your candor, but please have a little discretion. I would hate for my new family to get the right idea. Not that it matters now, mind you. We are wed till death do us part. It will be a long, long life.
I'm actually going to do this villain tag. Remember that one could gain even more with a father-in-law hogging the majority of the family fortune.
The dwarf turns away from the window, his dark, narrow eyes taking you in for the first time.
And what might you mean by that?
Grin and observe that if the merchant dies, he'll surely leave his estate to his daughter.
The dwarf is silent for a moment, his head held high as he appraises you.
I see. A little accident concerning Old Man Ross and the will in my own hands. That could indeed be just the ticket. And what would be required of me if such a thing were to happen?
Look at him with incredulity. After all that's happened today, he wants to kill his father-in-law.
What is your price?
Tell him that's yet to be determined, but you're sure he'll find a proper way to repay you generously.
My Lord Father always said, the friend that carries your sword is a lifelong friend. Although that life may not be as long as you like. But I am a more trusting man than my father. Come back to me with good news, and we shall be friends indeed.
This guy's an evil piece of shit.
She looks right through you, face slack with grief.
Lean in and whisper that her husband plans to kill her father.
She stares at you in horror. You think you see that strange pink tint in her eyes fade a little.
What? No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Point out that you're a stranger here. You have no reason to lie to her.
Her eye twitches and her mouth moves silently, but aggressively. It almost looks as if she's having an argument with herself. When she looks up at you again, the pink tint has cleared completely from her eyes.
How could he? How could he? I have to go. I must speak to my father.
Well, this is useful.
Daddy, I think my husband's trying to kill you.
That little creep. He won't get away with it. You here to do Dorian's dirty work? Figured it wouldn't be long before you showed up.
Confirm his suspicion. Dorian offered you quite a sum to do the deed.
I tell you what, you seem an honourable sort. See Dorian dead and I will meet his offer.
Insist you'll do no killing this day. You can sort it out themselves.
Then you're as useless to me as a void woken, and barely less ugly. We'll have to fight.
Alright, fine, I'll do it.
Our business is done. Our business is...
Ugh. Hello.
You've come to serve, yes? Excellent. Bring me my slippers. Chop chop.
Cross your fingers behind your back and bow. Yes, whatever the missus wishes.
Do hurry. My...
Our business is done.
If you say so. I mean, I'll go kill the man. I'm happy to. God, so Laura, get out here. You're gonna open the door and ruin everything. Thank you. Jesus. What are you doing? Close the fucking doors! I'm gonna murder a man!
The dwarf subtly tries to wave you away, hissing at you from the side of his mouth.
Are you moon-touched? Don't speak to me. I hired someone like you so I would not be seen to be involved. Imbecile.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna kill you. I feel like this has gone not the way I wanted it to. To the point where I'm gonna reload. Oh, no, I'm not. Ugh. Not good. Really not good. You know what? I am gonna reload. I'm gonna cut and I'm gonna reload that whole fucking thing. I was not expecting him to run away, I was expecting him to actually fight me. Alright, this is gonna be a long cut. I'll be back in a second. Alright, we're back. So this time, I didn't speak to the husband, I'm gonna speak to the, Micheil first.
A well-dressed dwarf paces swiftly around the room, overseeing the packing of trunks. He gives you a cursory glance, worry etched on his face.
Yes, thank you for coming. Indeed, it would have been a beautiful ceremony if only... Dark times. Dark times indeed. Safe home to you now.
He quickly turns away and casts a worried gaze around the room, counting something on his fingers.
Sorry about that. He quickly turns away and casts a worried glance around the room, counting something on his fingers. So you need to talk, Lohar sent you.
I'm afraid I don't know any. Lohar, you say?
Tell him of Mortis' defeat. Dwarvenkind is in your debt, and that includes him.
He peers into your eyes, looking for a sign of honest intent, and, satisfied, his face softens.
When the crackdowns and decrees came, I defended her. When she exiled her cousin Marcus, I joined in the applause. But this new plan of hers, I want to believe I do, but death fog? Something's not right. She's tuned me out. Well, she's tuned everyone out. Everyone but that advisor of hers, that Isbale. Her quacking all but drowns us out.
Ask about Isbel. Who is she? Where did she come from?
Hell if I know. A terrible answer, but it's all I've got. But it wasn't long after she started hovering around Justinia that things started to change. Justinia's always been hard, if you know what I mean, but never heartless. I don't know what her endgame is, but I don't want to be anywhere near when it begins.
Tell Rosh you'll do whatever it takes to talk some sense into Justinia and end her plans.
She's holding court in the sewers, if you can believe it. Go to my wine cellar. Pull out the vintage called Lula Bell. It will open the way for you. And take this key. You'll know where to use it when the time comes. Is there more you need from me?
Note the open trunks and piles of clothing littering the room and ask if he's packing for a trip.
You already know how close the danger is. If it all goes to hell, I don't plan on being anywhere near this place.
Fair enough. About the Queen.
Yes. Hurry it along.
Cool. So we got the information we needed. Also, the way we need to go to be able to stop the Queen. I'm now going to talk to the husband, and probably accept the assassination
The dwarf
contract.
stares grimly into space.
We already did
Excuse me,
all of
I
this,
just
so
assumed
I'm not
you
too worried
left
about
my
it.
thoughts. Yes,
He glanced.
events, there's much yet.
Love. But no. In my family, marriage, I appreciate. It will be a long...
You heard this had some trouble with Voidwoken.
I bet you heard. I bet everyone is talking about this cursed wedding. Perhaps my warhorse of an aunt is right. Perhaps this is what I get for debasing myself. Still, what's done is done. The marriage is final. That's the important thing.
Noji doesn't seem too distraught that his nuptials turned into a bloodbath.
People die all the time. Weddings aren't exempt. Not even my own. Unfortunately, sometimes people survive beyond their usefulness.
grin and say that you detect a scheme beneath his callousness. He's up to something, isn't he?
The dwarf turns away from the window, his dark, narrow eyes taking you in for the first time.
And what might you mean by that?
Grin and observe that if the merchant dies, he'll surely leave his estate to his daughter.
The dwarf is silent for a moment, his head held high as he...
I see. A little accident concerning Old Man Ross, and the will in my own hands. That could indeed be just the ticket. And what would be required of me if such a thing were to happen?
You don't care for gold or favours, that's what else he has to offer.
I have a certain skill with alchemy. I could certainly teach you a thing or two. Of course, if you don't have the wit for that, I can see you richly rewarded in all manner of potions. They could grant you health, strength, or even love.
Groan, you have more than enough potions. You want a percentage of the merchant's will.
Very well. I think 5% should be more than enough compensation.
Insists you'll need 10%.
10? The man is a glorified grocer, not some bloody paladin. 6%.
8, not a copper less.
You will take 7% or you will take yourself out of... And please don't assume that I need you. Time is a more reliable assassin than any cutthroat. I can wait.
Turn away with a grunt. You're here to work, not haggle.
A shame. Still.
Let's do the same thing.
She looks right through you.
Lean in and whisper that her husband plans to kill her father.
She stares at
What?
Intelligent persuasion will work.
when she looks up.
How could I have to...
We did already go through all of this, so I'm going to go up and talk to Micheil as well.
Daddy, I think my husband's trying to kill you.
You ill to do Dorian's dirty work?
Confirm his position.
Figured it wouldn't. I tell you what, you seem an honourable sort. See Dorian dead and I will meet his offer.
Remark that after the wedding must have cost a pretty penny. Sure he doesn't have more to spare?
All right, fine. Believe me when I say you'll be well rewarded. I suppose kill the rat and be quick about it. I don't have the...
Alright, cool. So I now have a quest to kill him. Which means maybe I can... Son of a bitch disappeared.
Where the hell did that Dorian fella go?
I'm sure I'll be able to find him and kill him at some point. Nevertheless, that's going to be the end of this episode, because we're sitting at pretty much half an hour, even with me cutting out the ridiculous run back that I did. So if you like this video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time, where we're going to go stop the Queen's plans, also murder her husband if we can find him, which surely couldn't be that hard. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.